busyness is completely overrated, but productivity, it feels pretty darn good, especially as a mom. Knowing our season is really important to being productive. If we don't know our season, if we're expecting it to feel like summer and it's winter, we have wrong expectations. But when you understand seasons change. For me, I've realized that the most rewarding things in life, they take time, they take intention, they take discipline. If I want to see a harvest, I've got to have enough patience to not rip the harvest up. Busy isn't the same as being productive. It's not the same at all. And in fact, what I really don't want anybody to call me is a busy mom. I would so much rather be known as a productive mom, somebody who gets things done when they need to get them done. But being busy, this idea that movement equals productivity, I don't think is true at all. And I think for many, many years, I was busy. I was buzzing around. I was on the go. Life was kind of hectic, but I would not say during that time that I really accomplished a whole lot. So I'm guessing that being productive is something that feels good to you. I know it feels really good to me when I can look back on my day and really feel a good reward from all that I've gotten done. It's just a really nice feeling. So let's talk today about what it's like to be more productive as a mom, to just be like legit productive and not just busy. So hey, my name is Lana. This is Girl Teach Me. This whole channel is to just help you be a more disciplined, a more intentional mama. If that resonates with you, I hope you'll stay and hit subscribe. And I say it in almost all of my videos, but if you are pregnant and you need some help prepping for a better birth experience, there's a free link down below to a class that might be helpful for you. So let's talk about what does it actually mean to be productive? I can only speak for me, but what it means to me is I feel like I'm moving the needle on the things that are most important to me in my life, that I am seeing progress. What is exhilarating to me is knowing that little by little by little, I'm making progress on becoming the woman I long to be, to become the mom I long to be, to build my home in such a way. It says a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. So when I start to see that house like being built up, and I'm not talking about a beautiful curated home, even though that's goals, I would love that. Just more of like the atmosphere of my home, but also just some business goals, even goals with my marriage, just seeing us make progress little by little by little, knowing that the actions that I'm taking are correlated to the goals and who we long to be. Like, that's what productive feels like to me. When I have some projects in mind and I'm making progress on those projects, even if it's like I'm gonna paint a dresser and I am making progress. Like I get the paint and I purchase the knobs and then I start on the first coat. Like that feels productive because, you know, it's a goal to paint a dresser, something like that. So in this video, I am going to be working on my upper cabinets, to be working on my kitchen. I am doing the home reset by Naptime Kitchen, and it's an awesome little audio course. I'm not an affiliate for it or anything. It's just something I'm doing personally, but this feels so productive to me because these cabinets have been an atrocious mess. They've been a mess, and I am in my kitchen all the time. We eat like 98% of our meals at home. And so having a fully functioning kitchen is so important to me. But I'm going to be doing the home reset through my whole house. I just decided to start with the kitchen since it's a really important space. So when it comes to moving the needle on the things that are important to us, I think first it's key to know what is important to us. I mean, there are seasons where being productive is simply surviving the day. I mean, when I had the flu last week with a little tiny baby, I was just surviving and advancing that week. And it's a season. Like, it's a season. I'm in a baby newborn season, and honestly, not getting a whole lot done, that's okay. That's okay. A doable portion for the season. So I think knowing our season is really important to being productive. If we don't know our season, if we're expecting it to feel like summer and it's winter, we have wrong expectations. But when you understand seasons change. Seasons change. And if you didn't understand seasons, you would think it's cold here all the time. It's always going to be cold. And it's like, no, hang on, spring's coming. And so maybe you find yourself in a season of motherhood that is really hard and you're not getting a lot of sleep, or maybe you're dealing with some sickness in your house. Like, don't beat yourself up. More grace for the season. But then let's say this season changes and you do have some more energy? What does it look like to have some aspirations to try to get something from the day instead of just simply trying to get through the day? What does that look like? I know for me in motherhood, for many, many years, I was simply just trying to get through the day. And I was kind of low-key depressed. I didn't really know that, but it's because I didn't understand that I had an external locus of control. It felt like my life was happening to me instead of me happening to my life. And so being productive is all about us happening to our life. It's us putting our hand to our day and not just getting tossed around by what's happening in the circumstances, but it's like putting our hand to the day and shaping the day a little bit and seeing something from the day. And the biggest thing too that I want to add that moves the needle here is something called daily disciplines. What are just a couple of tiny things you can do that are disciplined? Because just accomplishing those daily disciplines is going to actually give you way more energy for other disciplines and way more confidence that you do what you say you're going to do. So for example, for me, it's just making sure I'm journaling every day, I'm reading a little bit every day, I'm taking my supplements, I'm drinking my electrolytes and my green drink, I'm going on a walk. And these daily disciplines, one, they're going to keep me stronger, doing my posture exercises and things like that. They're going to help me physically, but they're also going to help me spiritually. They're going to help me mentally, and they're going to give me a little bit of fuel on the fire, like putting the kindling underneath the fire to get it going so that there's some momentum happening. So these daily disciplines, they're so important to being productive, because if we just bust into the day and we start just moving, then we may be just moving on things that are not actually life-giving or that important. And so before I try to do anything in my day, anything that might actually feel productive, I try to make sure I do as many of those daily disciplines as I can. And then it's surprising. I can get the other stuff done. But when I just jump into the other stuff, I don't get the daily disciplines done. So just remembering how important these small daily disciplines are to like my well-being. Because if I'm not taking care of myself, I'm going to break down, I'm going to get sick, and then I'm not going to be as productive, right? So I have to see to it that I'm taking care of myself. It's nobody else's job to do that for me. It's my job. The next one, it's so big and so overlooked, and this is what keeps us feeling busy, okay? It's protecting our time. It takes an immense amount of discipline to protect our time, because other people's demands for our time will be loud. There will be people that are demanding our time. Of course, that could be inside our home and outside of our home. Inside of our home could be husband, but it could be kids, A lot of times it's kids, they want a piece of our time, and that is not bad, because I think people are the mission of the home and our lives, right? Like our kids are our mission more than likely, and being a good wife is important. But what I'm talking about is just giving all of the time away and not protecting some time for what's important, which is like, it's important for me to get in the Word. It's important for me to go for a walk, maybe bringing my kids with me, maybe reading the Word with my kids. But it's important that I'm protecting my time and not giving it away to whatever they pull so hard and demand it for. So I know sometimes this can look like, Mommy, will you do this? Will you do this? Will you do this? And it's like, okay, Mommy's going to finish this and then we can do that. Just having some control, like my hand is to the wheel, not giving my kids the power to direct the whole day all the time, because they need to know that I'm in charge. So that's in my home. But outside of my home, it's so subtle, and people are not trying to do it to be mean or ugly, but the constant demand on our time, like, can you be on this committee? Can you be a part of this? Can you come to this birthday party? Can you go to this shower? And like I said, people are the mission. Like, I'm not saying baby showers are not important, birthday parties are not important, but it can get away from us to the point where maybe we're not having a rest day. Maybe we're not having family time because other people's demands on our time is so loud and so intrusive. But we have to have the discipline to say, no, I don't think that'll work, but if something changes, I'll let you know. Like that little line right there. So simple. But also, I know sometimes some even unhealthy desires can crop up, that I want my kids to be part of this and be a part of that we can overload our schedule and we can be buzzing around town being super busy, but we're not actually producing anything. We're not actually being productive. And those things are not actually as life-giving as I thought they would be. So keeping the schedule a little more minimal can be so helpful to actually being productive. So I want to pause. So tell me, what helps you be productive, and what has been the pitfalls of you not being productive? Where do you think you struggle and you need to grow? And where do you think you're just killing it and that comes pretty easy to you? Share down below. I feel like your comments are so very helpful to the other moms that stop by. I think it needs to be said though, that when we're setting out to be productive, are we doing a doable portion, or are we having unrealistic expectations? For example, at the beginning of the week when Matt and I sit down and do like our team Sullivan meeting, and I have a link down below for like, it's like a couples meeting guide. We try to do this every week. Helps us be insanely productive. We try to plan our month before it happens. We try to plan the week before it happens. And we actually go away on a yearly planning thing too. So that is probably the next course I'm coming out with Girl Teaching Me, because I feel like what we try to do as far as planning has been so very helpful as far as like our couple's goals, what we're trying to accomplish as a family, our values, just feeling like we're setting the sail and we're trying to actually go somewhere as a family, but also as individuals, and even helping our kids come up with their goals and things like that. So I want to help more of you with that, because I think that it's been something that, it helped Matt and I pay off $80,000 worth of debt in 2.5 years, over 7 years ago. So like being really intentional to plan your week, plan your month, plan your year, helps the days be more productive. But what I want to say with that is at the beginning of the week, we set something called a big 3. What are the big 3 things we're trying to accomplish this week? But then every day it's really helpful if you can just pause for a second, like what are the big 3? What's the big 3 for today? It might feel good to write the big 8 down, but realistically, you're either going to be really disappointed or it's probably not going to happen. Or maybe it does happen, but then you sacrifice all the other small moments that happen in between, just that moment when you could snuggle up with your daughter and read a book. Like, we can't be so productive that we crowd out people, right? So having a big 3 for my day, the big 3 for my week, so very, very helpful, because it's a doable portion. I can do the next right thing and I can do a doable portion. Those are 2 sayings Elizabeth Elliot always had. And it's just this can-do attitude, but we can set ourselves up for frustration when we try to get too much done. And I think the last thing is just protecting our energy. Do we have anybody around us that is legit an energy vampire? They are just sucking the life from us. If it's our children, they're not going anywhere. So we've got to help them with the heart issue they may have, or the behavior issue they may have. And really, it's always a heart issue, right? But maybe there's some discipline that we're not doing. Maybe we've just let them kind of get to a bad place and that's on us. Or maybe they just are in a season. They're going through some kind of developmental leap and they're draining us, and seasons change, and it'll probably be a different kid the next week, but that's just how it goes. But I'm talking about, have we let friends or family in our lives come so close in that inner circle that maybe they're starting to drain us in a way that's just really hurting our productivity in the home with our family? Or is there energy drain of social media? Is there anything that's bleeding us of energy? Because a lot of times it's not the physical load, it's the mental load that feels hard, especially as a woman, because we're juggling a lot of things. And so if what we're doing at home is extremely mentally taxing because we have a really unhealthy person in our life who is trying to honestly suck all the air in the room, it's really going to be a mental load. It's going to be a mental drain. And so I think as much as we can, especially if they're not our kids, like we probably need to get some space from them. They can't be able to call and interrupt everything that's happening. Or, if it's social media, that's an easy stop. I just got a Wise phone. I just said, you know what? I don't even want that to be a distraction. Like, I don't want my motherhood to be taken up with social media. And I'm not being like, wow, Lana, I'm so amazing. I'm just saying, like, that's an easier stop, I think, than just a person is, deleting it or even removing the temptation if we really struggle. Because maybe a season will come back around and we won't have used up all of our willpower and we'll be able to control it a little bit better. But if we're just sleep deprived and we're dealing with tantrums and toddlers and things like that, we don't have a lot of willpower at the end of the day to stop the scrolling. And so I think it's just really, really helpful to just eliminate as many of the energy drains as possible. to put a bow on it, but to really just drive it home, what for me, I've realized that the most rewarding things in life, they take time, they take intention, they take discipline, and they're gonna take time. Like if I want to see a harvest, I've got to have enough patience to not rip the harvest up, to keep planting day by day, to trust that the Lord is going to water, that He's going to bring the sunshine. But what I can do is be faithful over time. If I want to see some things happen in my life, I'm going to have to be productive, but also just partnering with the Lord, that it may seem mundane. And I think for me as a Christian, it's just been really important for me to understand that everything I do is seen by the Lord. It's all important to Him. And I'm not being productive to, get a gold star from my husband. I'm not being productive so people can clap for me. I'm not even being productive to be impressive. I'm being productive because I think it's so important to give a good return to the Lord on the health that we have in our body, the families that He's given us, the money that He's given us, the abilities, the intellect, the energy, the health, to give a good return on it. And that's one of the things Joel Salatin talks about in The Lunatic Farmer, is he cares so much about the soil and he cares so much about how he treats the animals, because he believes in an abundance mindset that God wants him to give a good return on the land he has. And so the land that we have is our home, and it's our children, and it's our husband, and it's the energy we have for that day. And how can we give God a good return on that? By not letting energy vampires rule our suck the life out of us, by not giving our time away to things that aren't actually moving the needle, or they're not that important to what God wants us to accomplish with our lives. And to actually get some aspirations to try to be building something for our families. Our life is but a breath. This life is very, very short. So, it's so important to just seize the day, to make the most of it, to be building something little by little. All of that is very, very rewarding. And ultimately, I'm trying to work for the Lord, the audience of one, to not grow weary in doing good. And so I hope this has encouraged you to just be as productive as you can, but not busy. To not be busy. Busyness is completely overrated, but productivity, it feels pretty darn good, especially as a mom. So thanks for hanging out with me. Leave your thoughts down below, your helpful tidbits. Tell me what you want to work on. What's the one area that you want to work on to be more productive as a mom? And I'll see you again in the next video.
It's so unnecessary dwelling about the past, 'cause I know that God is good. He led me to where I'm at. Sometimes I feel like giving up, you're giving in, but everything happens for a reason. It won't always be blue skies ahead. Sometimes you might need a helping hand, just like iron sharpens iron, making me stronger, calling me